So class, we shall start up, okay, with question number 10. So chapter 9, this is your fourth class. I've written it as part 4. So in this class, we shall start up with question number 10 of your exercise 9.1. Let's see the question together, okay? We don't have time to keep on writing the questions on the board. So we'll just read the question from the textbook. As I read the textbook, I want you to just look at the textbook, okay? Let's try to understand what is given and what are the things that are required, all right? Yes. Okay, let's see. Two poles of equal heights. There are two poles of equal heights standing opposite to each other on the road, which is 80 meters wide. From a point between them on the road, the angle of elevation of the top of the poles are 60 degree and 30 degree respectively. Find the height of the poles and the distances of the point from the poles. Very simple here. There are two poles of equal heights which are standing opposite to each other. I'm going to draw that. Okay. So there are two poles of equal heights which are standing opposite to each other. See. So here, AB and CD are two poles of equal heights. All right. People are sending requests only now, foolish students. So there are two poles, AB and CD are two poles of equal heights. They are standing opposite to each other on the road, and the road is 80 meters wide. The road is 80 meters wide. So BC is the width of the road, and it is 80 meters. So actually the figure is like this. Suppose this is one road, or this is the road. This is the road, okay? This is your road. National Highway 1, suppose, okay? This is your road. The thickness of the road is 80 meters wide, okay? And there are two poles of equal height which is standing opposite to each other. Suppose these are two poles of equal height. These are markers of equal length. So just consider that these are poles, okay? There are two poles of equal height, and these poles are standing opposite to each other on the road. All right? And the road is 80 meters wide. Are you getting me? This is how if you visualize in 3D, and this is in 2D. All right? I have drawn this figure in 2 dimensions, but if you want to visualize in 3 dimensions, this is how you need to visualize. These are the two poles of equal height. This is your road, okay, National Highway Road. The width of the road is 80 meters. Two poles of equal height. They are standing opposite to each other on the road, which is 80 meters wide. Are you following that? Okay. Yes. Now the next part of the question is, from a point on the road, from a point between them on the road, suppose E is a point on the road which is in between the two poles. All right? From a point on the road in between the two poles. So E is a point on the road in between the two poles. The angles of elevation of the top of the tower, of the top of the poles are 60 degree and 30 degree. Okay. So you choose a point on the road which is in between the two poles. Is it okay? From here, from this point, you are looking up at the top of the two poles. In that case, the angles of elevation are given to be 60 degree and 30 degree. Angle of elevation means what? Angle formed between the horizontal line and the line of sight, okay? When the observer is looking up. So from this point E, you are looking up at the top of the first pole. From this point E, you are looking up at the top of the first pole. Okay? So this is your, here is the observer. Observer is at this point. From this point, you are looking up at the top of the first pole. So this is the line of sight. This is the horizontal line. Angle between them is the angle of elevation, which is 60 degrees. I hope you are following that, right? Yes. From the same point again, you are looking up at the top of the second pole, the other pole. From the same point again, you are looking up at the top of the second pole. So observer is at E. So this is the horizontal line. This is the line of sight. Angle between them is the angle of elevation. And this is given to be 30 degrees. Are you following that? Yes. So we want to find the height of the pole. A, B, and C, D are the poles, okay, of equal height. So we want to find out their height and the distances of the point from the pole. E is the particular point that you have chosen, which is in between the two poles, right? E is a point where on the rod, in between the two poles. So from this point E, you have to find out the distance of the first pole. And also you want to find out the distance of this point D from the second pole. You need to find out the distance of this point D from the first pole as well as from the second pole. That means BE gives you the distance of point E from this pole. CE gives you the distance of this point E from the second pole. Are you clear about that? Okay. The students. Let's see then. So our objective, okay, our objective is to determine the height of the poles, that is A, B, and C, D. Also to determine the distance of this point from the two poles, that is B, E, and C, E. That is what we want to determine. All right? Okay. This is a very important question, okay, for your examination point of view. This question has been repeatedly asked in your NBSC final exam, repeatedly many times. So let's see, a very important question. AB and CD are the two poles of equal height, right? So let AB and CD be two poles of equal height. That means AB is equal to CD. Because AB and CD are two poles of equal height, they are of equal height. So height of AB is equal to height of CD. Next part. You want to find out the distance of this point from the first pole, that is BE, and also distance of this point from the second pole, that is CE. Now see, since this BC is given to be 80 meters, okay, the total length BC is given to be 80 meters. Now, if E is the midpoint, then each of these would be equal to 40 meters and 40 meters, right? Are you following me? The length of BC is 80 meters. If E is the midpoint, then each of this length, that is BE and CE, would have been equal to 40 meters. But E is not the midpoint. E is not the midpoint because that means BE and CE will not be equal. And how do you know? How do you know that E is not the midpoint? If E is the midpoint, everything would be very simple. Why? Because since BC is 80 meter, and if E is the midpoint, each of these BE and CE would be equal to 40 meters, right? Because 40 plus 40 will give you 80. But here E is the midpoint. And how do you know that E is not the midpoint? Can I get some comments here? Why E is not the midpoint? How do we know that E is not the midpoint? Anyone can comment? Like, is there a specific reason for E not being a midpoint? Wow, no comments. Class, can anyone say, can anyone try, like, why is it E is not the midpoint? Yes, oh yeah, very good. Yes. So yeah, very good. 3 students commented and they commented the right question, the right answer, okay? If E is the midpoint, then the two angles of elevation would have been equal, right? Suppose if this is 60 degree, then this angle would have also been equal to 60 degree. Or if this is 30 degree, this angle would have been equal to 30 degree. Angles of elevation would have been equal. If these angles of elevation were equal, then I would say that E is the midpoint. But since the angles of elevation are not equal, so E is not the midpoint. Is it okay? Yes. That means we do not know how much would be BE and we do not know how much would be CE, right? So I'm going to do like this. Let us take the length of BE to be X. X means distance of point E from the first pole, BE. If I take BE to be X, then what would be the remaining length? What would be the remaining length? The remaining length will be 80 minus X. This remaining length would be 80 minus X meters, right? Correct? If I take, I do not know what is BE, right? I do not know what is the length of BE. So if I take it to be X, knowing that the full length is 80 meter, if I take this length to be X, then the remaining length would be 80 minus X. Okay, CE would be 80 minus X. So I'm going to write that. So let BE is equal to X and CE would be equal to 80 minus X. Now, how many right triangles are there here? We know that a pole always stands perpendicular to the ground. This pole will always stand perpendicular to the ground. Poles, they always stand perpendicular to the ground. A pole, a tree, a tower, a building, okay? They always stand perpendicular to the ground, so that is how I've drawn the perpendicular. So there are two right triangles, so we can start up with any one of them. Let me start up with this ABE, all right? ABE, where your theta is given to be 60 degree. So in right triangle ABE, theta is 60 degree. So tan theta, theta is 60, okay? So tan theta is equal to, tan theta means side opposite to your angle theta, that is AB, upon side adjacent to your angle theta, that is BE. Tan 60 degree is equal to square root of 3. AB is unknown. BE we have assumed it to be X, alright? So if you cross multiply, AB times 1, AB would be equal to square root of 3 times X. Since X is unknown, AB is also unknown, so we will make it as equation number 1. So this is the information that we obtained from the first right triangle, alright? Now let us go for the second right triangle. Your second right triangle would be CDE. So in right triangle CDE, here your theta is given as 30 degree. So tan theta, theta is 30. Tan theta means side opposite to your angle theta, which is CD upon the adjacent side, opposite side upon the adjacent side. Tan 30 degrees 1 upon square root of 3. CD is unknown. CE we have taken it to be 80 minus x. Correct? All right. Now before we do any cross multiplication, you look here. AB and CD are equal, right? AB and CD are the poles of equal height. That means the height of AB would be equal to the height of CD. That means if you have obtained AB to be square root of 3x, then the length of CD would be also square root of 3 times x, because AB and CD are equal. Is it all right? AB and CD are the poles of equal height. It means AB and CD are equal. Height of AB is equal to height of CD. AB has been obtained to be square root of 3x. Therefore, CD would also be equal to square root of 3x. Alright? So instead of this CD here, I'm going to replace it by square root of 3x. And what is the reason? Because AB is equal to CD. Are you following that? Now you can cross multiply. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3 and x. 80 minus x times 1 is 80 minus x. So this implies 3x, and then we have plus x is equal to 80 meters. Minus x can be transposed as plus x. 3x plus x, 4x is equal to 80. So this implies your x is equal to 80 divided by 4, and that means x is equal to 20. 80 divided by 4, 20. So x is equal to 20 meters, means the length of this BE is 20 meters. Okay, that means distance of this point from the first pole is 20 meters. Therefore, your BE, which we assumed it to be x, it's equal to 20 meters. And then your CE, we assumed it to be 80 minus x. 80 minus x is 20, which we obtained, so that is 60 meters. So we have obtained the distance of this point E from the two poles. All right. Now our objective is also to find out the height of the pole. So using equation 1, from equation 1, AB is equal to square root of 3x. Square root of 3 into x is 20 meters. So that is 20 square root of 3 meters. What does AB represents? Height of the pole. CD, the same thing, CD and AB are equal. So obtaining AB means you have determined the height of the two poles. And we have also obtained B and C, means we have also obtained the distance of the point from the two poles. All right? Okay. Someone is commenting that why don't the name of the triangle? Okay, very good question here. Who commented this one? Okay, Jesse is saying like the name of this triangle. Why don't we take it as DCE instead of CD? No, very good question. See, if you are writing this angle is 90 degrees. If you are writing this angle, in that case, C should be at the middle position. That means we have to write angle BC. angle DCE is 90 degrees. Okay, if you're writing an angle, then C should be at this position. It should be angle BC. But we are naming a triangle. This is a right triangle. A triangle can be named in any order, okay? So naming this triangle as DCE or CDE or CED or ECD, it doesn't matter in naming a triangle. Is it okay? It's not necessary that like C should be in the middle on naming a triangle. When you write an angle, when you write this angle, then it should be DCE or ECD, keeping the letter C at the middle. But naming a triangle can be done in any order. All right? Does it clarify your doubt? Does it clarify your doubt? Okay. All right. So class, you can take time you are writing this one, and once you are done, we can go for the next question. That is question number 11. Okay. You can take some time writing this down. Okay, if you're done, I think some of you are commenting that it's done. Okay, done. Okay, all right, class. So we shall proceed with the next question. That is question number 11. All right. If the recordings of every class would be made available in YouTube, okay. So I'll be providing you the link in this app, all right, and then on the study materials folder. So you can like click on the link, and from the YouTube you can see the recordings, which will be useful for revision. Okay. So we will go for question number 11, solution. See what is question number 11. I think a figure is provided to you in the textbook as well. Okay. Let's see. Figure is also given. Okay. So we just need to read the question, try to understand what is given, and what are the things that we require. All right. Okay. Let's see. A TV tower stands vertically on a bank of a canal. So on one bank of a canal, there is a TV tower. From a point on the other bank, directly opposite to the tower, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 60 degrees. Okay, let me draw the figure and then, okay, reading only up to this part of the question, let us try to draw the figure. Of course, figure is given, okay, but let us try to understand how this figure is drawn, all right? A TV tower stands vertically on a bank of a canal. Suppose this is one bank of the canal, suppose B, which the question is given it as B. This is one bank of the canal, and this is the opposite bank. Okay, this is one bank of the canal. This is the opposite bank. Width of the canal, BC would be the width of the canal. Suppose if this is a river, you choose a point here, this is one bank of the river. Just opposite to point A, you choose another point here, B. This is the opposite bank. So the distance between them gives you the width of the river. Similarly for the canal. Are you following me? Yes. Distance between two opposite banks will give you the width of the canal. So this is one bank of the canal, B. This is the opposite bank of the canal. All right? Distance between them gives you the width of the canal. Are you following me? Yes. Now, a tower is standing on this bank. So this is your PV tower. This PV tower is standing perpendicular to one bank of the river. On the opposite bank, the observer is on the opposite bank. From this opposite bank C, when you look up at the top of the TV tower, the angle of elevation is given to be 60 degrees. Are you following that? From this point, okay, on the opposite bank, from this point means C, where is C? The opposite bank, right? On this bank of the river, a TV tower stands vertically. On the opposite bank, there is C, okay? When you look from this point C on the opposite bank C, when you look up at the top of the tower, the angle of elevation is given to be 60 degrees. So distance between two opposite banks will give you the width of the canal. All right? Okay. Again, next part of the question. From another point 20 meters away from this point C. So you are taking another point which is 20 meters away from this point C. So you take another point after going 20 meters away from C. D, suppose. You are considering another point, D, which is 20 meters away from C. From this point, when you look at the top of the tower, the angle of elevation is 30 degrees. After moving 20 meters away from C, when you look up at the top of the tower, the angle of elevation now decreases to 30 degrees. All right? Yes. Question is, find the height of the tower. Here AB is the height of the tower. Okay, TV tower. And the width of the canal. Here BC, I told you, BC is the width of the canal. Distance between two opposite banks will give you the width of the canal. Distance between two opposite banks gives you the width of the canal. All right, are you following? Okay, so shall we start? All right. Like I'm just speaking and talking to myself only. So let's draw the figure accordingly as given in the textbook, okay? All right, let's see. There is a TV tower. Okay, let me first draw the banks. This is C, is the opposite bank. And then we take one. If D is one bank of the river, this C is the opposite bank. This two banks will give you the two banks give you weight of canal. Okay. There is a TV tower standing vertically on one bank of the canal. So B is the point where the TV tower stands vertically. So AB is your TV tower. TV tower stands perpendicular, okay, to the bank. From the opposite bank, that is C, when you look up at the top of the tower, from the opposite bank, that is C, when you look up at the top of the tower, the angle of elevation is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, angle of elevation becomes equal to 60 degrees, is equal to 60 degrees. Now, as you move 20 meters away from this point C, you move 20 meters away from this point C, then you reach another point D, right? From this point D, when you look up at the top of the tower, from this point D, when you look up at the top of the tower, the angle of elevation now decreases to 30 degrees. Is it all right? Yes. So question is, you want to find out the height of the tower, that is AB, and the width of the canal, that is BC. BC is the width of the canal. So let AB be the height of the tower, of the TV tower. Also, we want to find out the width of the canal, denoted by BC here. So let AB be the top of the tower, and let BC be the width of the canal. Width of the canal. All right. Now, class C, how many right triangles can you see here? You can please comment. How many right triangles is included in the figure here? How many commented? 3. How many right triangles? 3. 3 right triangles? No. Satyam Doti commented 3. No, there are 2 right. Okay, let me be clear with this. Altogether, there are 3 triangles. Okay, 3 triangles. But when you talk about a right triangle means a triangle in which one of the angle is 90. In that case, there are only 2. Okay, there are only 2 right triangles here. One is ABC and the other one is ABD. Okay, there are 2 right triangles. The first one would be ABC, the smaller one, and the whole triangle ABD. There are 2 right triangles, okay? ABC and ABD. The easiest way is always start with the smaller right triangle. Here, ABC. Of course, you can start out with the bigger one also. No problem, we'll always get an answer. But it's easier for you if you start with the smaller right triangle. All right? Okay, let's start with a smaller right triangle, that is ABC. Okay, which trigonometric ratio would you use? Considering this right triangle ABC, which trigonometric ratio would you use? Which trigonometric ratio? Sin theta, cos theta, tan theta, cot theta, cosec theta, and sec theta. Which one? 10. Why 10? Why not sine? Why not sine theta? Because you don't like it? You don't respect it? Why only 10? Why 10 here? Why 10 or cot here? Because in this right triangle, hypotenuse has nothing to do. We don't require the length of the hypotenuse. What we require is the TV tower, the height of the TV tower, which is the opposite side. And we want to find out the width of the candle, which is your adjacent side. So we require only the opposite side and the adjacent side. And a trigonometric ratio which involves these 2 sides is either tan theta or cot theta. Okay. Whenever we require hypotenuse, we use sin theta, cos theta. Okay. Here hypotenuse is not required, so sine, cos, cosec theta are not required over here. All right? Yes. Okay, then in right triangle ABC, your theta is 60 degree. So tan theta, theta means 60 degree, tan theta means opposite side upon the adjacent side. Tan 60 degree is square root of 3. Height of AB is unknown. Height of BC is unknown. Alright? So if you cross multiply, AB times 1 is AB, and that is equal to square root of 3 times BC. Both AB and BC are unknown, so you just make it as equation number 1. We cannot solve it further. Okay, we cannot proceed further because both AB and BC are unknown. So we just make this as equation number 1, and we go for the bigger right triangle. In right triangle, the whole triangle ABD, tan theta, theta is 30 degree. Tan theta means opposite side, which is AB, upon the adjacent side. For the bigger right triangle, for this whole triangle, BD is your adjacent side. So BD. Correct? All right. Now, tan 30 degree is 1 upon square root of 3. This is equal to AB. See, in equation 1, we have determined AB as root 3 times BC. That means I'm using equation 1 over here. Equation 1 says AB is square root of 3 times BC. Upon BD, we can express it. BD. How can we express BD? Can we break up this BD? Yes. BD can be expressed as sum of BC and CD, right? BD can be expressed as the sum of BC and CD. BC plus CD will give you the length of BD, right? The length BD. Now, 1 upon square root of 3 is equal to square root of 3 times BC upon BC plus. Now look at your figure. Look at the figure, class. The length of CD is 20 meters, right? The length of CD is 20 meters. So CD has to be replaced by 20 meters. Okay? Now if you cross multiply, square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3 times BC. BC plus 20 meters into 1. BC plus 20 meters. Now this is 3 BC, and then we have minus BC. BC, you assemble them together like the Avengers assemble, is equal to 20 meters. 3 BC minus BC, you have 3 BC. If you subtract 1 BC, remove 1 BC, then we have 2 BC, right? So twice BC is equal to 20 meters. That gives you BC to be 20 meters upon 2. That implies your BC would be equal to 10 meters. So BC is 10 meters means width of the canal is equal to 10 meters. Okay, width of the canal is equal to 10 meters. All right? Okay. Now, also, we need the height of the tower, TV tower. So from equation 1 gives us the relationship between AB and BC, right? So as we know BC, so using equation 1, I can find out AB. So from equation 1, AB is equal to square root of 3 times BC. BC is 10 meters. This implies AB is equal to 10 times square root of 3, and which completes our answer. So we have determined that the height of the TV tower is 10 root 3 meter and the width of the canal is 10 meters. All right? Okay, you can note it down. Take your time noting it down. You can take 5 minutes, okay, noting this down. There is no problem. So out of 155 students, 117 is live, okay, today. Okay, plus you take just 2-3 minutes writing this down. I'll be coming in a minute, okay? Okay, class, if you are done, I'm going to rub this out and we shall proceed with question number 12. So by tomorrow, I think we will be able to complete this chapter. Right after we complete this chapter, an assignment will be given to you from the app only. Okay, I will give you some information regarding that, and then we shall start with the next chapter, that is chapter 6. You have for your second term examination, all the chapters of the first term will be included. Along with it, there will be 3 new chapters: chapter 4, chapter 9, and chapter 6. Chapter 4, I have already uploaded uh, videos in YouTube. I have sent you the link, okay? So you can check on the YouTube for the videos. And right after I complete this chapter, I'll be moving on with chapter 6, okay? And then once we are done with chapter 6, we can go on with some revision, okay, on the difficult chapters. All right, then we shall start with question number 12 now. Question number 12. Today at 10 you have other class, right? I think SS class at 10. So let me just, I want to finish it before 10. So let me just do this question number 12 as the last question for today, okay? And then we have 3 more questions. Tomorrow we'll be finishing it up, all right? So look at question number 12. Okay. From the top of a 7-meter high building, or there is a building which is like 7 meters high, okay? Maybe just one-story building. From the top of a 7-meter high building means observer is at the top of that building. The angle of elevation, or he's at the top of the building and he's looking up, all right, because it's elevation. Angle of elevation of the top of a cable tower is 60 degrees. Observer is at the top of the building, and from the top of the building, he's looking up at the top of a cable tower with an angle of 60 degrees. Okay? And the angle of depression of its foot means from that same point, means from the top of the building, the observer is again looking down at the foot of the tower, cable tower, with an angle of depression now, depression, looking down 45 degrees. You want to find out the height of the cable tower. Okay, very easy question. So let us try this question together. So there is a 7-meter tall building. So this is your building. AB is your building, which is 7 meters tall. AB is your building, which is 7 meters tall. The observer is at the top of the building. Okay? Opposite to him, there is a tower. There is a tower, okay? So let's say that CD is the tower. Now what is this observer doing? This observer, he is looking, in the first case, he is looking up at the top of the tower. And then he looks down at the bottom of the tower. Okay? Now how to draw the angles of elevation and depression? Very simple. From the eye of the observer, you always draw a straight line. Okay? Parallel to the ground. That's your horizontal line. You draw another line connecting the eye of the observer and the object. That's the line of sight. Angle between them, angle of elevation. So the observer is at the top of the building. Means observer is at the point A. So from this point A, I'm going to draw the horizontal line first. So from the observer eye, you always draw a straight line known as the horizontal line. So AE is the horizontal line. And then he's looking up at the top of the tower. So that is AB. AB is the line of sight. He's looking up at this point D. So this is the line of sight. Horizontal line, line of sight, angle between them is the angle of elevation, and this angle of elevation is given to be 60 degrees. 60 degrees. All right? From the same point again, the observer is looking down at the foot of the tower. From the same point again, the observer is looking down at the foot of the tower. Now, this time, this is your line of sight. This is the horizontal line. Angle between them is the angle of depression. This is the horizontal line, the same thing. Now, this time, this is the line of sight. Angle between them is the angle of depression, which is given to be 45 degrees. All right? Now, let us complete the figure by joining B and C. By joining B and C. BC gives you the distance between the building and the tower, BC. Okay? Now, class, you see here, AB and CE are equal. Why? Because opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. Okay? ABCE is a rectangle, or it can be a square. So the opposite sides of a rectangle or a square are equal. So if AB is 7 meters, then this CE would be also equal to 7 meters. Alright? Our main aim is to find out the height of the tower. Which length represents the height of the tower? CD represents the height of the tower. Okay, CD. CD represents the height of the tower. So how can we find out CD? By adding CE and DE. You add CE and DE. That gives you the height of the tower CD. Already CE from the opposite sides of the rectangle, we have obtained CE as 7 meters. So our aim is to obtain only DE now. Once you obtain DE, you add with 7 meters, that will give you CD. Alright? Yes. Okay, so we need to obtain DE. So DE is associated with which right triangle? Plus DE is associated with which right triangle? Can you name it? DE is associated with which right triangle? DE is a part of which right triangle? Only one comment. With which right triangle DE is a part? D is a part of which right triangle? Yes. Yes, so another comment there. DE is a part of this right triangle AED. So in this right triangle ADE, if you want to obtain DE, if you want to obtain DE, then you must know what is AE, right? Is it okay? I want DE. DE is associated with this right triangle. But in this right triangle, I do not know the measure of any of the sides. So in order to find out DE from this right triangle, first of all, I have to find out AE, right? Okay. So in order to get AE, which triangle are we going to use now? In order to find out AE, which triangle do I use now? Two comments. ACE or ACE. Very good. Very good. So I'm going to first use this right triangle, the bed of roses. Here your right triangle, ACE. I'm going to use this right triangle in order to find out the length of AE. Okay? My question is, which trigonometric ratio are we going to use? In this right triangle ACE, this is the right triangle ACE, I want to find out AE. Alright? So which triangle am I going to use here in order to find out AE? Which trigonometric ratio are we going to use? Which trigonometric ratio are you going to use? Okay, very good. Okay, 10. This angle is theta. Side opposite to angle theta is CE. And side adjacent to angle theta is AE. So I'm going to use tan theta, tan 45 degree. Okay, very good. I got 11 comments, all the comments are correct, okay? Okay, our aim is to find out CD. So let CD be the height of the cable tower. Now I'm going to use this right triangle ACE first in order to obtain AE. So in right triangle ACE, tan theta, where theta is 45. Tan theta means side opposite to this angle theta. Opposite to this angle theta is CE. Upon the adjacent side, that is AE. Your tan 45 is 1. CE is 7 meters. and then your AE is unknown. You need to mention why C7. Because AB and CE are equal opposite sides of a rectangle, all right? So if you cross multiply, your AE would be now equal to 7 meters. So we have obtained AE, which is 7 meters. Now, using the upper right triangle, ADE, using the upper right triangle ADE, I'm going to find out DE. Okay, once you find out DE, you add them up, you get CD. All right. So in right triangle ADE, angle is theta is 60 degree. So tan theta is equal to DE, opposite side upon the adjacent side. Tan 60 degree is square root of 3. DE is unknown. And your AE is obtained to be 7 meters. So if you cross multiply, DE will be equal to 7 square root of 3 meters. 7 into square root of 3, 7 square root of 3 meters. So DE will obtain. Therefore, height of the cable tower CD means CE plus DE. CE is 7 meter, DE is 7 square root of 3 meter. We cannot add them because this 7 contains square root of 3. This is rational, this is irrational. We cannot add them, but we can take common. Taking 7 common, we have 1 over here. Taking 7 common, we have square root of 3 over here. So the height of the cable tower is 7 times square root of 3. 7 times square root of 3 plus 1. That's the height of the cable tower. If you want to get the precise answer, then you need to use the value of square root of 3 to be 1.73, okay? And then you add it with 1, you multiply with 7, that gives you CD. But even if you stop your answer over here, you will be getting the full marks, all right? Yes, you can copy it down now. Plus, if you are done, then you can leave the class, you can log out, okay? And then we shall continue tomorrow at the same time. So you need to log in 5 minutes before the class starts, all right? Yes, you can log out now. After you're done copying, you can log out now.